Sorry, I'm gabbing. Not at you, at Charlene. Hi, I'm Eric Vales. How you guys doing?
Chair.
I don't know how to get around it. Well, thank you for coming to this panel of mine that I don't know what it's called. What's it called? You.
Eric Vales' opinions on life.
Okay. So this is Eric Vales' opinions on life, which means... Yeah, oh my gosh, that's right. You ask me questions and I offer up my opinions. I stole this right out of the hands of Jerry Jewell. I'm not joking. I saw him do this at a panel one time. Of course, granted, it was after 30 scotches and it was at midnight. It was hilarious! And I told him, I'm stealing it from you and I'm doing it at every convention I go to for the rest of my life. So, that's why this exists. So you can thank Jerry for this. Anyway, so I'm assuming some of you know what I do. I'm a painter. Okay, sir, thank you.
I love seeing paintings.
I'm an actor. Voice acting really is just part of my acting. I do a lot more than that. I'm not a runway model, although it feels like it. Okay, that's as far as I can go. All right. So, I do voice acting, of course. You guys know me from that. I play the voice of Trunks in DBZ. Yes, me too, right? Okay. What? Yes, that. Whatever you said. I like that. Yes, he does. I completely agree. I'm going to start a war here in a second. I also play Sanji in One Piece. That. You missed that altogether. I play America and Canada in Italian. Thank you for that. Why I wasn't invited to those presidential debates, I have no idea. Whatever. And a few other voices on a few other shows. Who can name them?
Yuki.
Yes.
Desert Punk.
Desert Punk! Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Yuki from Fruits Basket. Thank you. Yes. Yes, Ryusuke from Back. Thank you. Yes. And Kimberly from Full Metal Alchemist. Sakio from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Justin from Soul Eater.
Everyone heard that. You got a loud voice. Yes, you had your whatever. Okay. Anyway, so that's a sample. You know another one.
Hermit from Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple.
Hermit from Kenichi. I picked up that voice, actually. There was another actor who was playing him in the first season, but he was in a really nasty motorcycle accident. And he couldn't make it around for the second season. So I had to step into his shoes. So I just, I'm glad that you like that. And I'm sorry for him, but he's doing better now and he's back on his game. So anyway, what?
You also do the voice for in Fairy Tale, that orange hair dude. I don't remember his name. Loki, you did Loki.
Loki.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta say it right. Come on. Loki from Fairy Tale. That's right. It's a long list, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it. All right. So my opinions on life start with you know what? I'll just offer up a couple up top. First off, let me just get a couple things out of the way. Okay. So a lot of people always ask me, "Hey, how do you get into voice acting?" Well, you really don't. You get into acting. It's real simple. If you want to be a voice actor, get into acting, go to your community theater, join your high school theater, join your college theater, just act. Wherever you can, act. That's important. It doesn't matter how you do it, where you do it, who you do it with, just act. And it will find you. Whatever you're supposed to do, it will find you. I didn't set out to be a voice actor. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a movie star, right? I wanted to go make movies. And then one day, as I'm delivering pizzas, I got an audition for this show called Dragon Ball Z that I knew nothing about. And I got the voice of Trunks. And they said, hey, come in and do this. I said, okay. So I came in and I did that, and 3 weeks later, it's all over the internet, it's everywhere, people are calling me at home, and it blew up in my face. I didn't know what I was in for. And that was like over 10 years ago. And here I am talking to you guys. So you never know what's gonna happen. Just act if you like acting. So that's kind of my little acting right there. All right, now, my opinions on life. Question 1. Hands. Yes, Waldo. I see you.
All right, I just want to be blunt, just ask a really stupid question. Are you a brony?
Hell no! No, I am not Josh Greeley. Thank you very much. Is that the weirdest thing you've ever, that phenomenon? Who in here is? No. If you're a girl, put your hand down. Right? Boys. You are? For real? Don't do your eyebrows like that at me. That's weird. Mary. Thank you. To a girl. So, yeah, bronies, weird stuff. I never understood it. I went to a convention with Josh Greeley a few months ago, and we had a Hitalia panel. We had, remember? Were you there? You weren't there. No. Never mind, you weren't there. But it was brony. Stop talking. Patrick Sides, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. Come on, the guy's great. I love him. So anyway, we had like everyone in Italia except for Patrick on this panel, right? And we were all up there, and the place was packed. I mean, wall-to-wall people. Hundreds of people in this room. And then we show up to closing ceremonies the next day, and the master of ceremonies says, well, I guess we all know what the biggest panel this weekend was. And all the Hitalia people are like, well, yeah, of course. And she goes, it was the brony panel. And all of us kind of, we were like, what? The bro, what? None of us even knew what it was. And Josh is like, I know, there's so many people there. Bronies are stupid. Sorry, bronies. Sorry. Okay, who's got another question?
It's fine, we still love you.
Thank you. All right, first hand that went up was that one.
Do you prefer Canada or American voice better?
Do I what?
Do you prefer Canada or America better?
Do I prefer Canada or America? Well, I prefer America. I don't even really know what Canada is. I've been there a few times. I was actually in Canada one time with Todd Habercorn and Wendy Powell. That's right. All right. The three of us went out for drinks in downtown Toronto one night. It was nice night. We went to a bar outside, sitting down. These four guys were sitting there, and this was before Wendy Powell was married. This was while she was single. She saw these four cute guys sitting there, and she's like, I'm gonna strike up a conversation. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna strike up a conversation. So she goes and sits down next to these guys, starts talking. I'm Wendy Powell. La, 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 la. Todd and I go in, and we get drinks for the three of us, and come back outside. And she's talking to them, and these four guys are like, hey, that's nice. And she's talking, nice conversation. Todd and I sit down, we start talking to them. And they go, so where are you guys from? And Wendy goes, we're from Dallas. All four guys who were all from Toronto, all four of them do this. And will not talk to us for the rest of the night. So we left that bar. Yeah, it was awkward. So while everyone has this myth of Canadians being polite, it's a lie. Some of them are just like Americans. Okay, next question. Yes, right up front. You.
What is a role that you've had to change your voice for the most?
Change from my normal speaking
Yeah.
voice? I don't know. I find, you know what's funny? I find the older I get, and the older I get, the more I have to change my voice. I don't know why that is, but this is my normal speaking voice. And like you find that desert punk in America are kind of similar sounding. Yuki in Canada are kind of similar sounding, kind of just whispers. Right. And there's a few other things. I think Kimberly probably is the furthest thing from my real voice. You know, because it's that, you know, I'm gonna kill your entire family kind of thing. That's probably the furthest I go. Yeah, probably Kimberly. I don't have a huge range, so I stay kind of right in there. And right next to you, you had a question.
What's the weirdest thing that a fan's ever asked you to do or say? I'm sure you have a story for us. If it's appropriate.
Nothing fans do is appropriate. I mean, you know yourselves. Let's see. I had a 14-year-old girl lick my face one time, which was weird. Out of nowhere, I was just sitting at a table signing something for somebody. She came up around this way and ran off, which was gross. It was just like a dog running up out of nowhere and licking you. It's weird. I had a girl at one convention, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, proposition me, asked for my, I forget if it was my cell phone number or my room number, and I said, you know, I'm sorry, I'm married, and she goes, yeah, she doesn't ever have to know. I'm like, Brina Palencia is sitting right here, and I go, hey, Brina, my wife would find out, wouldn't she? Because she's mean and evil, right? And Brina goes, oh, yeah, she's mean. And slid that thing that she signed for that girl all the way down the table. That girl just kept on walking. I took my wife to a convention in Australia one time. And at that convention, I had a girl who, the line is literally 500 people long. 2 days in a row, 2 days of signing. And when I show up, it's 500 people long. Each day, the first person is the same person. It's this girl who's like 19 and married, and she just looks like the cute as a bug, you know? And the first day she hands me a letter. And she's like, here's a letter for you, and she's real nervous. And then she starts talking, you know, my husband told me that I shouldn't come down here. My mom said that I shouldn't come down here because she said that you wouldn't even care what I had to say. And she just starts rambling all this weird stuff. I'm like, it's okay, honey, let me sign your stuff. Okay, see you later. And she goes, I took her letter home that night, read it, and it's just the ramblings of a crazy person. Like, and I mean like Kevin Spacey in Seven. Crazy! So, like, whatever, she's gone, done deal. So the next day, I show up, she's the first person in line again. And this day, she's like sweating, nervous, and has another letter. And this day, my wife shows up to buy a toy or something for our son at the con. My wife kisses me and walks off. And she sees this and gets a little kind of, you know? And then I sign her stuff. She's like, I got you another letter. And I take the letter, and I'm like, okay. And she's not really paying attention to me, which I thought was good. And she slides over to my handler, this guy Mike, who's kind of like bodyguard. Thank God for Mike, because she goes, is that Trunks' wife? And he goes, yeah. And she just runs after my wife, just takes off running after her across the convention floor. And I swear to you, Mike just goes,